Hey, good day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn, the Active Trend Trader. I want to welcome you to today's session of On the Radar, our live market update. It seems like forever since the last time we were on air, simply because Monday was a holiday and then Tuesday had to forego the On the Radar to provide a video and a webinar to our premium Active Trend Trading members. So as you're coming on board, just a reminder, I will not be able to see you on, if you're joining us on Instagram Live. I want to welcome you and say thanks for showing up. I encourage you to, one, watch the replay if you have any questions. And also, if there is a stock you want me to take a look at, please send me an email, text, DM me, put a message in the, when it goes posted up to Instagram TV, and or when I pop it over to YouTube. So let's jump into it. Today's market started ugly and wound up kind of okay. All the indexes, let's see, let's take a real hard look here. I think all the indexes, no, they did not. We wound up with mixed indexes. S&P up slightly. The Dow up slightly. Well, S&P actually down a little bit. Spiders are up a little bit. But the S&P itself is down. So the Dow is the only index that was up. NASDAQ and Russell down for the day. So what can we take away from that? One of the things I want to keep our eye on is prices are still somewhat extended. Excuse me just a second. Need a little bit of LaCroix to loosen my throat up. So prices basically came down on the S&P, came right down and then bounced off of the, in this case, the 8-day moving average. Nothing really has changed about what's going on with the with the index. It is still in an uptrend. The moving averages are still stacked to the upside. Let me get my drawing tools up here in a second, and I'll provide some additional color. There we go. As you can see, basically, we're just riding the 8-day moving average up. We'll see if that continues. But I'm watching this very carefully. The TSI is up into the overextended territory and starting to flatten out. It has not turned down to the downside yet. This is going to be our basically kind of our tip for today, our trader tip for today. If you are just started trading, or even if you're a long-time trader, oftentimes we can get into a habit, and it's a bad habit, of over-anticipating price actions based on what the indicator is telling us. In this case, this oscillating indicator, which is the TSI, we know that when it crosses to the downside, typically the momentum has fallen out of it, and so you've had a momentum shift. Prices tend to sell off into that. Doesn't mean that the uptrend is over. It just means that it's going to slow down or give us a pullback to get into a position, to be able to actually get into a position if the uptrend stays intact. And then we basically get a shift back to the other side when the uptrend is back in place. So with the S&P, as you can see, nothing has reversed here. So there's nothing saying, hey. Now and we'll go over to the weekly chart though, and it paints a slightly different picture and recognizes this is Wednesday. We still have 2 more days for the candlestick and the price action for the week to be complete. And as you see, what we do have here, though, is we have some good negative divergence on the TSI. And the market forecast is kind of pointing, it's sloping down. I won't say it's definitely not pointing down. So what does that indicate to us? That tells us that, yes, while we are pushing up to higher highs, the momentum is waning. I like that word, waning. So same on the weekly for the Qs. As you can see, TSI, negative divergence. And actually on the Qs, the NASDAQ, the price action basically the market forecast has turned down to the downside a little bit more significantly than the other. We had a gap down. Here's where we opened. So we had a window gap down. Prices fell down to past support and then rebound back up into price action. So I will still look at one, TSI, what's happened. We have basically, if you look really close on there, we have had a crossover to the downside. It did not get all the way up into the above the 42 level, which I kind of like. That's where I scope out where the upper reversal zone is and the lower reversal zone. It did not get up that high and now has basically reversed. And so that high, that's where our resistance is, up at 338. And we'll look for a push down to where? This is where I'd throw in the Fibonacci's real quick and see where my Fibonacci's from this move from here to here, where they line up with a moving average. There we go, grab that, up to there. Now where does the 382 lines up right there at the 20-day moving average. The 618 lines up pretty close to the 34. So if prices get down to those areas, I would put in alerts to say, if prices get down to that level, I want to be paying attention. And I put in alerts right there. And if when those alerts triggered, that's when I would get back on my trading platform to see, okay, now when am I going to be looking for a potential trade? I'm going to be rolling up a new video to the YouTube channel this weekend, and it's going to talk about how to utilize the intraday charts for swing trading. A lot of people, if you're a swing trader where you're looking for a trade to last somewhere between a few days and a few weeks, you don't need to be watching the 5-minute chart or the 10-minute chart or the 15-minute chart in reality. If you focus primarily on the half-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, and the 2-hour chart, you can get some pretty darn good indications of when you should get into a trade. As an example, I'll use this in the Qs right here. Let's pop over to this is the half-hour chart. I use the same indicator. I use TSI 883 exponential. When price actions are down in the lower reversal zone, that's where I want to be paying attention to a potential reversal move back up to the upside. Same thing as I expand this out. This means move it back across. Excuse me. Every time it gets down towards that level, or it starts to reverse like it does here, and I'm coming off of a strong level of support, that's a good time to be paying. I want to be paying attention. I move this all the way over to the right. But the ones that I really want to be paying attention to are the ones where it does get down, the TSI gets down into the below the negative 42 level. Here's one that happened back on 129. That gave a really good rally that rallied up from 313 up to 328. So I'll be basically showing you how to utilize those. And then if I pop forward, and we just got another one of those in the lower reversal zone here. The other way to utilize this, and let me finish up with the IWM, then we'll get into the other items that I want to cover for today. Okay, daily chart on the IWM. A nice hammer, however, it's a hammer with the after a gap down, after several bearish candlesticks up here at the all the way from a bearish engulfing to some spinning tops to a hanging man, and then basically we dropped down from there, came down to a level of support at the 221 level and bounced back up. However, warning, Will Robinson, that is a reversal signal, And one of the key things, if you are a person that over anticipates entries and you have the momentum pointing down, don't take a trade off a bounce, off of a fade into a level. Make it show you a reversal candlestick, at least on the, in this particular case, on an intraday basis. Because basically what this is showing us right now, TSI is crossed down, roll over to the, and we also have that, we had a head and shoulders going on here with the weekly TSI, which it looks like it is breaking down below that. See if we can see that a little bit better. See? Yep. It is basically trying to break down below that. And those are all negative signs for IWM. Now, does it mean that IWM is going to sell off forever, sell off into a big downtrend? Not necessarily, but it was extended well above the 20, well above the 34. So we'll see if we can get some of a pullback. I would be interested if it gets back to the, to the 20, between a 20 and a 34 day moving average. Let me pop off the other thing I wanted to share with you just really quick. Isn't it not on this particular entity? But I can just watch. Again, I have the support there at 217, and then I have support down here at the 34, which is at 213. So those are the two levels on IWM I'm looking at. Now, let's jump over, and I want to show two different stocks. One of them is three different stocks. One of them is three of them are Bitcoin or blockchain stocks, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about what makes one of them, I won't say better, but provides you more options when trading it. But before I do that, I want to jump over here and first take a look at VRTX. VRTX now has weekly options. And that's a pretty darn good looking bullish engulfing pattern. And the move on that bullish engulfing pattern was, let's take a look, $6.50. We have the TSI just turning up and crossing up to the upside. Buying volume a little bit more than average. The downside part of this, it is below the moving averages. So we may get a break above the 8 here and then a move on up to the 20, which is about the 219 level tomorrow. And so that'd be about a $5 move. It may also just go all the way up into here. But what we can do is go ahead and grab this, remove that Fibonacci, go on back over and grab and build in a new fib from that high down to that low. And that'll give us some targets on the way up, the 382, 21, the 50% at $25. And with a stock that is this, $6.50 on a daily basis, roll over here. It's looking really good on a weekly chart. Came down and is testing in the support, the action value zone down here. It has not flipped up regarding the with the TSI yet, but I do have a bullish cluster right here on the market forecast, and that can oftentimes lead to a big push to the upside. So we may be early on this one, but we do have, again, the candlestick, if it finished like it is right now for the weekly, is a hammer, which is a bullish reversal candlestick. Today's bullet candlestick on a daily chart is a bullish candlestick. Again, it does now have weekly options. Let me double check on that. It does. It does now have weekly options. For a while, it did not. But we may have absorbed all the negative news from when it did the earnings here, and it may be ready to bounce back up and reverse up. The other, excuse me, so that's VRTX. I like it a lot. One of the stocks that we've been watching, it's an ETF actually. These other three are kind of ETF-ish. One is GBTC, which is a Bitcoin derivative. And it's had one heck of a move. I mean, it basically popped up here, showed it was starting to move up. Look what's happening here, though. Hasn't given us another buy signal, but TSI is pushing up towards old highs. a little bit of negative divergence going on the weekly chart as it moves up to new highs. I wouldn't buy it where it's at, but I would be looking for some kind of a pullback down into this area here. The downside about GBTC is no options whatsoever. The two that I am looking at that do have option, though, is RIOT. RIOT just sounds so bad. And as you can see, RIOT just in the past couple of days, the past couple of weeks. Let's go over and look at the daily chart real quick. Oops. There we go. Look at the daily. Okay, it popped out. There we go. It popped out, broke out here, and has now run 170%. Now, that's a bunch. Now, it is overextended. I'm not saying buy it here, but I think we need to keep it on our radar for when it may pull back into past levels of support to make a decision on. As you can see, these dotted horizontal trend lines there, it has been in those areas before. And when was that? That was... Okay, as you can see, that was back in 2017. So it has been in those areas before. So we just want to pay attention to it and see if it's going to give us a pullback into that area. Because oftentimes with breakouts like this, 65 to 75% of the stocks that break out like this do, in fact, give some kind of pullback towards the breakout area. I will also want to keep an eyeball on this one, again, for the intraday charts, for when the TSI is all the way down at the bottom. That's where I'd be interested in trying to make a trade on RIOT. When RIOT was, let's roll this back a little bit. Okay, the last opportunity I had gives you pretty good daily signals. So the last one was down here at about $19, $20, where we had a daily intraday signal, excuse me. And then it was off to the races from there. And the last one is MARA, M-A-R-A. Marathon Patent Group. Again, this is a block. This is a blockchain, and also RIOT is a blockchain adventure. No, I didn't spell that right, did I? M-A-R-A. There we go. And again, it's just stair-stepping its way up. Let's go look at the daily. Similar type move. Gap and go, gap and go, gap and go. Okay, not a time to be jumping on the train right now, because if you jump on the train right now, and that light at the end of the tunnel is another train that will come and run into you, and you'll be doing the old, the old prayer as the prices fall back down into 31. Dear Lord, just let it get back to break even so I can get out, and we don't want that to happen to you. So we'll wait for a pullback. But I'm going to keep those two on my radar because this one also does have not only options, but weekly options, with the same way with RIOT. And so that's where it makes it a little bit attractive to me, provides us a little bit more flexibility in what we can do with those options. And so we'll be paying attention to it and keep our premium members posted. If you want to learn how to as I'm finishing up, I just want to let you know one thing. Unless you are getting my Power Ranked Elite watch list every Friday, I can tell you, you're spending too much time searching for the best growth stocks that are out there. I basically go through over 500 stocks every Friday, and by Friday evening, I post a list of between 15 to 20 super growth stocks that not only are super growth stocks, but they pass the Investor Business Daily fundamental profile for great growth stocks. And so you're getting the best of both worlds. It's basically IBD puts out these 14 different watch lists. I then do my sort on it, do my review on it, and then I skim the absolute cream off the top, and that's what I provide back to my active trend trading free members. It even gets better if you're an autopilot trader, because not only do I give you the best stocks, but I also tell you exactly where I'm going to be trading it. But that's another story for another day. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go to the link tree on Instagram, or just go over to my website, activetrendtrading.com, and you can get lined up and signed up for that free service. And you can also get your invitation to my Friday webinar that's called How to Make Money Trading Stocks and Option. It goes off at 11 a.m. Pacific every Friday. So until tomorrow, which is Thursday, aloha, God bless everybody. Thanks for coming.